What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Dominic over at Redline Garage Fab. This is our project SARG. It's a 40 Ford pickup that's all-wheel drive. That's a twin-turbo Coyote truck. In this episode, we're building the front frame rails. We're getting all the suspension points mounted, the front cross members made, the front E-rack, and the front differential mounted, and a quick mock-up to see how it looks. Stay tuned and follow along. So this is what I came with for the front frame rail. We need at least this spot open for the half shaft and steering. And then up here will be our uprights. Down here will be the lower control arms. The goal is to give some extra material this way going forward, and then that way some extra material going rearward to help connect to the rear frame rail. But this will be the main frame section for all front suspension. Here and here will be cross members going to each side. I measured on the frame before I got rid of it. The inside to inside is 29.5, so that'll kind of give me that datum in between. But basically this will be it here. And then kind of don't see the pen marks, but more concentrate on the markers. But this way that'll get all boxed in. We'll do some gusset plates here and here on both sides to keep it extra strong. But there it is. So this is kind of what we're going with here. We got the frame rails coming from each side. This is the riser for the half shaft and the tie rod. And then we'll do some gussets here. And then I'll have a little 1/4 inch gussets after I cap these off. So what I'll do is I'll set up the time lapse. We'll get these all tacked together for left and right. And then we'll go from there. So I got the front and the rear cross members made and tacked in. The rear is fully welded in, but I'm running a little low on welding gas. But the jig is in place. I'm just waiting for my dad to get here to help me set it up. But essentially, it's roughly in its location. This way, I can make bracket tabs that go from all the suspension points and diff and suspension rack to it. So I got the upper control arm brackets made up out of cardboard. They actually came out pretty good. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna use both the side of the frame rail and the top of the frame rail to give it a lot of strength. I'm gonna box the bottoms as you see, but also the tops. It's just I can't get them to come out and lay them flat to draw them out on CAD. But the tops will have their plates to give also strength too. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna knock the 3 locations for the front diff. First diff bracket's done. Probably gonna radius it just a little bit to make it more appealing. We'll move to the back one and then to that one after. So I'm super happy about it. The diff brackets are made out of some quarter wall 3x3 tubing, which are gonna be super stout. Again, I ran out of gas, so I was just kind of tacking stuff with a little bit of gas I had. I'll come and finish weld all this hopefully during the week maybe, but the brackets are all done. And then like I mentioned, the lower is going to use kind of the same bracket on both sides. So that's all I got about to do for today. But tomorrow morning we're going to go on Fusion 360 and we're going to start drawing all these brackets up so I can get them off the Sun Cut Sun. See you in the morning. So my parts from Sun Cut Sun showed up super fast. I drew these up on Sunday. I got them on Thursday. Sorry, I tried filming it, but I was having an issue with the screen recording on my computer. So I'll work on that for the next one. But we have the upper control arm mounts here, here, and here. And then I just made generic lower pads because they're all basically going to be the same. So let me get the camera. And so as you can see, there's our uppers, there's our lowers. And let me get these apart and we'll go from there. Oh, and let me address the elephant in the room. So yes, there's a cab there, and we have another truck that's sitting here. The biggest issue I was finding with this cab is it's completely rotten. I mean, the lower doors, the lower cab, if I could open it, like the whole inner structures are just gone. So instead of trying to waste all this time and getting these, it was actually cheaper to find this. So it's a 40 Ford pickup stake chassis truck. If anyone is interested in the front end and the hood, message me at dominic@redlinegaragefab.com. I'll put that email in my the lower description, but I'm not going to be using any of it. So basically here forward, I'm just taking off. So all I'm really buying is, or using, is just the cab. I just hate to throw it away. It's in super nice condition. Everything is super solid. I mean, a couple little areas, but for the most part, I mean, super solid. But it just starts me with a better foundation to start with. So I have a short time lapse of when I brought it home. I asked the gentleman where I bought it from if I could film when I was on his property, and he wasn't too keen on the idea. So I respected that. So I have a video of me coming home with it, but there's that. But back to this. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut these open. Now, I think I messed up a little bit, but this is the first time I've ever done this on Fusion 360. So I made a bends tat. So this way the plates can like bend over. This way it makes a nice tight 90 and everything stays. But I think I did a little bit wrong. So I might end up cut these and then have it reset so I have a nice weldable room. But if anyone's done this on Fusion 360, they actually have that slice in there. Can someone either put a link in the description or a link in the comments, or maybe shed some light? Like I said, like this is the first time I've ever tried to build a 90-degree plate. So if anyone can help me out, I'd really appreciate it. But so the tabs came out really good. Real contoured, real nice and tight, exactly how I wanted them. And I learned a trick off of a 4-wheel drive channel I watch, is if you keep the ram board inside, it'll actually create that little bit of tolerance that you want to keep to move your bushings or your control arm in and out. As you can see here, super nice. So all I did was, all my cardboard templates are out, but I took these and I laid them flat onto a scanner, and then that scanned in the computer, and I just drew right over them. It was super simple. I loved it. It was awesome. It came out super well. I mean, the fitment's great. So I'm gonna set up a video. I'm gonna buzz these in, and then we'll work on the lower arms in a minute. So I got everything laid out. Sorry that I just got into a groove and I just kept going. So what I did here was I drilled a hole on each side with a hole saw, and then to make it easier on myself, I cut a window, and then what I did was when I slid the sleeve through, I actually welded both sides on each side. I can attach the picture right here. But this way there's a sleeve in there, it's welded. I added these bosses to give the factory thickness of the factory cross member. The rear diff is done. I just need to kind of work that area over because that's where actually the diff sits itself. But yeah, this thing's coming out pretty good. Let me get a little montage of everything going together, and I'll get right back with you. Everything came out just exactly how I wanted it. There's a couple things we still need to address. I still want to box the upper controller mounts to give them some extra strength. Right at the steering shaft, it's a little tight, so I'm probably going to have to just do like a radius in there. And then I want to add the rear sway bar because the goal is to make it handle just as well as going straight. But I even got a wheel mocked up. It's going to come out super, super cool. I'm going to address these soon. I just want to make sure the rack doesn't interfere with it and the rear half, or I'm sorry, the front half shaft doesn't interfere with the rear, but I want to do like a radius to kind of give this area back some strength, and then we'll do some fish plates on it. But super happy, super stoked of how quick this actually came together. What we're going to do is next episode, we're going to make engine mounts, get it in here, but we're going to tag the front drive shaft right to it. I'm a big believer in OEM parts. So this way, if you ever were to break down, it's all OEM stuff or a local junkyard, stuff like that. With that, 40 Ford pickup actually has a 112-inch wheelbase. A 2016 F-150 regular cab short bed four-wheel drive truck actually has a 122-inch wheelbase. So what that'll allow me to do is I'm going to pull the front end a little bit forward to help give me some room inside with the transfer case and the drive shaft on my side in the driver's seat. And then we'll stretch the rear end a little bit. So it kind of won't look too far forward, too far back, but an even 5 inches on each side I think will look nice. But then that'll allow me to run the rear factory drive shaft. So this way, if I blow any of these two or any of these parts, they're just F-150 parts. So a local junkyard, the auto parts store, they'll all have these parts. My comment is the same way. I believe in all factory parts because they work. I mean, you can't beat the OEs of how they've durability test them and everything. My dad came in clutch right before he left work. I called him up at the dealership. I'm like, hey, I need 4 upper control arm bolts because mine disappeared somewhere in the garage. So he hooked me up with those. Next, after we make the engine mounts and we go back with the frame, in the background, I'm going to start playing with some ideas on a big brake upgrade, but kind of with, I'm trying to shoot for is a factory caliper. So if I can make a C7 Brembo brake caliper work, or a CTSV off a second gen Cadillac work, like I want to make something work on the factory off the factory 13.5-inch rotor that the truck came with. So I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving from my family to yours. And I hope to see you on the next episode. So please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the ring bell so you get notified when I make the next post. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye. Super quick. They got... Sorry. Now, going on all this. Am I in the way? Side note, so too many side notes, too many ums. But Fab. In this episode, Redline Garage Fab. In this episode, jump in. Hope you follow along.